my machete gonna chop her to the wire.
Hey, bum the way to way.
Wrapped in spaghetti, about to catch me on fire.
Hey, bum the way.
So bum the way.
Bum the way to way.
Bum the way to way.
Bum the way.
Are you ready for the sabbatical? Away from the drama and the hysteria. Juxtaposition, correct your vision. Simsalabim, and you seem to be forgiven, so come out to play. It's a beautiful day. Come reality. Bum the way to way. Come out to play. It's a beautiful day. Come reality. Bum the way to way. I don't like living in a simulation.
Hey, bum the way to way.
Unplug my way back to civilization.
Hey, bum the way.
So bum the way.
Bum the way to way.
Bum the way.
Bum the way.
Me take the incline and I can't see the stars. Me can't feel the human from beyond the avatar. Jump the prison, fuck the algorithm. If your battery is dying, then you get busy living. So come out to play. It's a beautiful day. Come reality. Bum the way. Come out to play. It's a beautiful day. Come reality. Bum the way. Are you ready for the sabbatical? Away from the drama and the hysteria. Juxtaposition, correct your vision. Simsalabim, and you seem to be forgiven, so come out to play. It's a beautiful day. Come reality. Bum the way. Come out to play. It's a beautiful day. Come reality. Bum the way. Come out to play. It's a beautiful day. Come reality. Bum the way. Come out to play. It's a beautiful day. Come reality. Bum the way.
Welcome to the Live Loving live stream. with John Davis. Well, hello, my friends, and welcome to the Live Loving live stream. It is I, John, here in the fabulous John of New Studios, having a lovely, lovely time and hoping to have a wonderful exchange with you guys this evening. You know, oh, hey, Bright Love, that's from last time we were talking. I'll talk to you in a bit. I wanted to hop on before we get into tonight's thing. I want to talk about something Bernard Baruch once said. He said, "Be you and say what you feel, because those that mind don't matter, and those that matter don't mind." There is this concept of being yourself, being your authentic self, and when you are truly your authentic self, then the people who are in alignment with you will find you, see you, and love you, and surround you. But oftentimes we will put on masks to fit in for validation. And usually the masks are there because of our own fear of not being loved in some form. But when you do what you say and say what you feel and all those things that Bernard Baruch was talking about, being you and saying what you feel, you will find the people who are in immediate resonance with you, and they'll surround you, and the love will be unconditional, whereas before, the other way is very conditional in his love. So I would like to just say, celebrate who you are and be you unapologetically. And I kind of liken this to my next door neighbors on each side of me here. They cut their grass in these straight lines back and forth. And I cut my grass in circles. And I cut inward until it cuts down. And what happens is when you drive down the road after and I try to cut my grass right after them because I like how it looks when you see these very rigid lines and suddenly these organic circular shapes. But I think it's the difference that makes it stand out. You being who you are and being unique within yourself is absolutely beautiful, and it's normal. Don't look for normalcy. I spoke to someone today who she just wanted to be normal. And I asked her what normal was, and she couldn't really understand it. And I said, well, normal is an expectation of the people around you. In reality, you be whoever you are, and your normal will become normal with people of like mind. And so that is my thought on this. Now let me jump over and say hello to the folks in the chat box. Glenda Webster just became a member. Thank you so much. I think you're going to find some great conversations in the membership Zoom meeting. And for those of you who don't know about the membership, it's $4.99 a month, $5 a month. You get to see all the videos early. I put them out in batches of usually 5 or 6, so you can get ahead of the videos. You get custom emojis, and you get all kinds of other stuff. And you get a once a month live Zoom meeting where we can actually talk back and forth face to face. And it's been the first one we did was very good. The next one will be the first Friday of next month. And it was just a wonderful experience the other night for those of you who were there. Let me keep on going here. James Prentice, a church bus went by with "God is love" written on it. Isn't that exactly true? Yeah. And you know why I know that? Because it's from the book of John. Thank you very much. The idea, yeah, God is love. It's God is a resonance. God is a feeling. God is the unspoken love that is unconditional. And even the use of the word unconditional diminishes it, because that says that there is a condition that it has to be unconditional from. God is the purity of love, in my opinion. And being here in the physical is experiencing our separation from that love. And that's not really even a separation. It's an illusion of separation. Maxine, Westminster, Maryland, how are you this evening? I hope you're doing well. Joe Wardzella, have I read The Boy Who Knew Too Much? I have not read The Boy Who Knew Too Much, I'm sorry to say. Bright Love, of course. Hello. Co-Creatrix Incorporated Traditional Tarot. Your live stream popped up. Cool. What are your thoughts on the Pistis Sophia? I had the Awakening in 2018, which is hard too. Hello. The Gnostic text explains everything. I asked for and needed it. when you ask for something, when you believe you're getting an answer, you will get an answer. The Pistis Sophia was written in the 4th century by a group of Gnostics who were trying to equalize the relationship in the world of men and women. Jeshua always taught that there was no delineation, there was no inequality, but he also understood that in the time of his walking the earth, there was, people often ask me what it's like, what was it like back then? And first century Judea was like Afghanistan now. The women were subjugated by the not only the military, the Romans, but the religion culture of the Jews, and so you had the women who were very much subjugated in the time, and by the time of the Pistis Sophia, which, like I said, is 3 to 400 years later, they were trying to come to this creating a hierarchy, and one of the things they said in the Pistis Sophia was that Mary Magdalene was the ultimate disciple and knew more than anybody else, and they got that from the book from which book was it? They got that from the Gospel of Mary Magdalene, where Peter at the end of that gospel says, "Why should we believe her? She's a woman. Why should we believe that?" And Jude says, not Jude, Levi says, he loved her more than us. Why wouldn't she know? Why wouldn't she come? But the Pistis Sophia tries to put her up into a hierarchy that Jeshua didn't believe in. The hierarchies themselves were not something he would have promoted or said, because he didn't believe in inequality, and he didn't believe in hierarchies, which is why he washed his disciples' feet, because he didn't want them to put him on a pedestal. He didn't want anybody put on a pedestal. And so if it gave you the answers you need and it is your truth, I completely respect that. For me, it draws a new line that creates new divisions, and I think it's actually, for me personally, it is not what Jeshua taught, because it creates new divisions and new hierarchies, in my opinion. I hope that answers the question. Bright Love, you're rocking it. Mitzi, hey. Dot, how are you? I hope you're having a good time down under. Larry, welcome. That island music was written and performed by my brother Jim. If you go into the description, I believe you'll find the link to his YouTube channel and his very strange, very artistic music, and I love him to death. Will, how are you, bus driver man? Kim, welcome. Kuldeep, how are you, my friend? Tammy Jean, hello. Georgia, welcome. Kristen, welcome. That green country agroforestry, that sounds awesome. That sounds awesome. I would love that. Normal's only setting on a washing machine. That's well said. Jermel Bills, thank you so much. I hope the same for you, that you're having a great day every day. I choose to have a great day every day, and even when things don't seem to be going great, I usually find the great in it so that I can come back to my inner peace. Mitzi, I was thinking about this. I will be home. I think I'm going to put it out to the membership group if they want that night off, and we can move it back 2 weeks, because the live stream will be the following week. I saw that too, and but I will be home, because I'm not going to be in Rehoboth on the 4th of July this year, thank God. But yeah, I got that too. Oh, Kazian, that is the perfect thing to say. When you let go, things come more easily. The holding on is the restriction. You know, when we hold on to things, it's usually because we're trying to figure out how things come into our lives. And how is the belief that it's not happening now. But letting go means things are happening now. It allows things to happen in the now. And now is the only moment you're conscious. Now is the only moment things can happen. The past is a collection of memories of those things that happen, and the future is just a place where those things that are going to happen are coming to you, and that is the substance which it shows up in the present. So I love that you have found that realization that you have to let things go so they can come more easily. Well done, my friend. Well done. That's very interesting. If I have time, I'll check into it. That's all I can say. I can't honestly say I'm going to read it because I just don't know if I'll have the time. Iron Taylor, hello, and I am fine. And how are you? We are all brothers and sisters and one with all. Hello, Theo. Will, I do not have a P.O. box, and I just want to say, people often want to send me things, and I am at a part of my life where I am purging things away. So I am like getting rid of stuff. So if somebody sends me something, a lot of the time I just get rid of it because I literally am trying to come down to a completely minimalist life. So I don't typically like when people send me too much stuff or send me stuff in general. And it sounds like I'm ungrateful I know where I am in my life right now, and my life is about purging away. So if you want to send me a message or talk to me about it in the membership meeting, we can talk about it there. But let me we can talk about that later. Susan, hello, and thank you for becoming a member, Susan. Well, you will love the group. We have a wonderful, wonderful group that is just so open and inclusive and just wonderful. I think you'll have a great time there. Good evening, Evans Putman. How are you? Duran Chiles, hello. Becky Duncan, hello to you. Shane, my poetry man has arrived in the house. You are still alive, and I'm happy to see it, my friend. Zip and down. Oh, happy father! Thank you so much for saying that. It's such the joy of my life to be a father to such an amazing young man, and so thank you for saying that. Can I recommend a contrasting text which is truer to Jeshua's ways? I would suggest you look up either on my channel or on my other YouTube channel, the simple teachings of Jesus or the simple teachings of Jeshua. And that video kind of lays it out. Now, what's interesting is I don't recommend ancient texts to anyone. I don't for very several reasons, because they're ancient. One of them is one of the reasons is that because of them being ancient, they've been manipulated, translated, altered, arranged to meet various people's narratives over the thousands of years. I also know that whatever was written from someone's point of view, and I would highly recommend understanding that if you base everything out of the simplicity of love and simply being loving, you are probably closer to Jeshua's teachings than any text you could possibly find. Just be love. When people ask me what my religion is, I say I am love. Somebody said to me today, "So you're a New Age teacher?" I said, "No, I'm not New Age. I'm not Old Age. I'm present age." And it really comes down to you understanding that being love in the now is the teachings of Jeshua. So I hope that answers that question. Where am I? Denise, hello and welcome. Oh, Becky, I'm glad. I was curious about the 7 and 8 thing. I move it to 7 because I was having really long Friday days. I was starting at 9 o'clock in the morning and ending at 9 o'clock at night, and it was just like I want to bring it back an hour, kind of straighten it out. I feel bad for the people on the West Coast who, 7 o'clock is what is that? That's 4 o'clock there or something like that. But I just feel like I've got to honor my own time, and I'm glad it works out for you as well. Um, Jumping down. Jumping down. Hold on, Tammy Jean. I'm going to see if I can find you something right here, right now. I'm going to jump in here. Here. Boom, 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 boom. What if the second coming isn't about one man? Boom, 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 boom. Hey guys, it's John. Can you hear my video talking? I'm going to shut that up. Let's see. Okay, so I'm going to send you a video, and I'm going to send you the actual a picture of the actual location of where the join button is. Okay, so jumping over, I'm going to jump into the chat. Here is the video. Okay. And here is where it is. See that little dark area that says join? Right next to my name. This is the title underneath the video, and then it says join. That's where the join is. I hope that helps you. And thank you guys for joining, because it's actually it is turning out to be a really fun group. Okay. Do you have dreams at this time? I love this, because this comes down to a question I'm asked very often, Michael. Well, your question is, do I have dreams at this time, something you'd like to accomplish? Usually this depends for people asking what is, they were trying to find purpose in their life. And purpose is chosen, not found. For me at this time, as I said earlier, I am currently simplifying my life. And in simplifying my life, I'm stripping away all the stuff, and I'm coming down to moving back to the East Coast. And, I've often talked about Rehoboth, and I surprised Mitzi and Lara the other night by saying I might be going to Berlin, Maryland instead. But people don't understand. Berlin, Maryland's only 40 minutes away from Rehoboth. But it's doesn't have as many people living there. And Assateague with the wild horses are there, and Ocean City's right there, and an airport is right there in Salisbury. Logistically, it's a much better place for me personally. It also allows me to buy a piece of property that will be surrounded by trees. And so I get to have my private space and all that stuff. My goal is at some point to create a very simple center on a piece of property somewhere where we can have events a few times a year, probably bring some people in so we can talk about things and create something where we can basically a live loving center kind of thing. But it would be a property with my home on it, and I would focus my entire attention there, simplifying everything down to making a lot of videos and doing all that stuff. And somebody once asked me what do I want my legacy to be, And my legacy really is, and I mean this wholeheartedly, my only legacy that I want is to know that I have left a positive wake behind me, but I don't care if anybody ever remembers my name. All I really care is that the world is better because I was here and I did something. And my dream is to live a nice, easy life where I get to go over to the beach in my Jeep and hang out with wild horses and see friends and family, and keep teaching spiritual stuff until I'm done with that too, which I don't see that happening anytime soon. But I'm thoroughly enjoying making the videos and doing that. And my dreams of the future are basically to work my way into a kind of retirement where I'm doing more video than sessions. Right now, I do so many hours of private sessions, and I always feel like I'm doing good work. But I'm coming to a point where I really want to just focus on the videos and the maybe a few events a year, and doing more of that kind of work, and simplifying my life so I can do this for a longer period of time. I hope that answers the question for you there, Mike. And I hope I didn't offend you by calling you Mike instead of Michael. I like to respect people for their names. Do I think giants existed? I think that the world is a construct of our belief, and if people believed in giants, they probably saw giants. That's my thought on that. I say here, it's an interesting question, Theo. Do I have any sharp swords? I don't. I was a stage combat guy for years and years and years and years, and I don't ever sharpen my swords. Now, my son has a sword cane that has a very pointy tip on it, but we don't have sharp swords in this house because I don't see the need. I'm not going to cut somebody or hack somebody up with a sword. But no, I don't have any sharp swords in the house at all. Hope that answers that one. I have heard of the tragedy of Darth Plagueis the Wise. And if you have to say that right, the tragedy of Darth Plagueis the Wise. Thank you, Bright Love. Yeah, she's right. Click that like button. It does help the algorithm. I'll tell you what the things about the algorithm. The algorithm wants to see interaction between the channel and the audience. So live streams are great for interaction. Hitting the like is an interaction. Putting a comment under a video is an interaction. Me responding to that comment is an interaction. So the more interaction you have with the channel. Now, I will tell you this. If you like what I do and you like what I say, one of the best things you could do to help me and this channel is to go to the other channels that you like so much and say, hey, you should check out this John guy. You might want to interview him on your channel, because getting me on their channel helps this channel grow more than anything else I could possibly do. And it's kind of weird for me to say, hey, you should interview me. So it's much better coming from their audience saying, you should check this guy out. Moving on. I've come to the bottom of what we've got so far. I think this is great. We have 44 people on here tonight. Remember to ask any question or topic that you'd like to talk about. I'll talk about anything. I am a completely open book. I will be honest with you about my beliefs about things, and I will never tell you something I don't believe, and I'll never promote something that will be fear-based or out of the present moment. The one thing I'd like to say about a lot of the other channels you see out there, a lot of them are very much based in ancient conspiracies or future prophecies, but they're not present moment. And you only live in the present moment. You're only conscious in the present moment. The future isn't set. There's nothing up there that's destined or pre-fated. It is the substance of the universe that is coming towards us and plays out with what we believe about the now. And so when you look at it from the perspective of getting very present, that's why I said I'm not new age, I'm not old age, I'm present age. Because the more present you are and the more fearless you are, the closer you are to God, the closer you are to that love of God. The concept of fearlessness. You know, fearlessness. That I started this video tonight with Bernard Baruch quote. You know, do be who you are and say what you feel. Those that mind don't matter. Those that matter don't mind. The thing is when you are present, moment, and fearless, you're your authentic self. You're being who you are, and saying what you feel because you have no fear. Fear is the paralyzer that keeps you from expressing yourself fully, from saying the things you feel. The more authentic, present, and fearless you are, the closer you are to the divine and to love and God and God, His herself. Oh, thank you, Dot. Emilio's. I haven't really gotten a lot of stuff off his channel from that interview, but it does help. I mean, I got a few people have come over. I appreciate it. The latest one was Guy Lawrence, and I've gotten several new subscribers off of the Guy Lawrence stuff. Constructs of our belief. Do you believe we're in a simulation? No, I don't believe we're in a simulation. I think that is a very modern New Age ideology that came out after the movie The Matrix came out. I believe it's not a simulation. I believe the universe, the world, is a reflection of our belief, but I don't think it's a simulation. I think that we are physically here and having this experience, but the physical world is an impermanent structure of atomic energy, and so you might define it as a simulation. I define it as simply existing within the oneness of God and feeling separate because of my fears and anxieties. That's how I would answer that one, Georgia. You know what, Lynn? This is perfect. You know, the more you strip away, the more you strip away, the more you come back to understanding that the material things are not really that important. You know, I went upstairs in my house here that I'm living in, and this house is a 3,200 square foot house, and I realized I haven't been upstairs except for once or twice a year in years. My son's room's upstairs and his bathroom's upstairs, and he goes up there. But I don't see most of this house most of the time. So moving back down to the shore, to the Delmarva Peninsula, I want a smaller house. I want something that's more easy to manage, and I'm liking the idea of creating a simpler lifestyle. Good on you for purging things away. You know, Shane, that is the most beautiful thing. Be who you are. Because the reality of it is, if you make your part of the world so bright, the people around you are going to see you, love you, and they're going to start making choices of their own to be bright. So I love that you're doing that. I totally appreciate that, Kuldeep. I personally don't believe it matters who anybody was in a past life, even myself. I think it only matters who we are in the now. And I think that people will often get a little too deeply into who they were instead of being here and present. So I will tell you that I have met multiple people who think they're John. I've met multiple people who think they're Peter and Paul and George and Ringo. I think that I've met multiple people who think they're Jesus and Judas, and I've met over 30 women, probably I'm sure close to 40 women now, who think they're Mary Magdalene. But I'd be a complete hypocrite to say they're wrong, because I'm saying pretty much the same thing. So I really just think we're all tapping into the oneness of God and tapping into those personalities within it. And I think that, in Hinduism, they say that, God, the consciousness of God is the sit, and we're the sit sat ki, which is the individual sparks of consciousness within the one God. So I think we're just consciousness within the oneness of God, and I think we can tap into probably any of it myself. So do I think that I'm not sure I believe the modern version of reincarnation that people talk about, but I could be wrong on that too. I'm not claiming one thing or another. I know that I'm not vain enough to say it's one way or the other. Hope that answers that. I believe there's more to life, and I think the universe is surrounded by creation. And I'll add to your thing, and I think the creation of the universe is created by our beliefs. Because that's found everywhere. Chitra! Chitra the Pitbull has arrived. Hello, hello, hello. This is a wonderful question, Larry. You know, there's a lot of conflict in the world right now. But as much conflict as there is, there's a lot of good that's coming out of the conflict. You look at the war in Ukraine. You know, for us to really sustain this world, we need to start looking into many different forms of energy. Second, the war of Ukraine started, Europe cut off all oil deliveries from Russia. They started leaning deeper into green energies and various forms of energies. And before that war began, the peacekeeping organization NATO, that's what it is. It's a peacekeeping organization. They're combining their forces to keep the peace in the region. That is their mandate. Before the war in Ukraine, we had less members. Finland and Sweden were not part of it. And so it comes down to understanding that there are good things happening out of the bad. And sometimes it takes the bad for us to say, oh, we're not doing that anymore, we're doing this. And I think that every present moment distraction should be viewed as simply a distraction from a more loving world. And you can succumb to the stimulus of the world and become in the belief system that it's bad, or you can choose to focus on bringing love in the world. Going back to the Mother Teresa quote, she said she'd never go to an anti-war rally, but have a pro-peace rally and she'll come. You know, the Bhagavad Gita says, thought by thought you forge your destiny, therefore to keep your mind on the positive rather than the negative is considered the austerity of the mind. So it always comes back to the concept of we are creating the world, but other people are creating too because we're in a collective consciousness. So don't give power to the ones who are creating fearful things. Give power to you creating loving things and the people who are creating loving things in the world. And so the fearful things will go away because everyone will always be more attracted to the loving things, the positive things than the negative. In fact, the negative will force them to actually say, no, we're not doing that because I don't like that. We're doing this positive thing. So I hope that answers the question, Larry. Michael, I have not. Anthony DeMello. I might have to look into him. Yeah, and this is something that people don't realize is the Pope was helping Nazis escape Europe at the end of World War II. The Pope had a back channel and told Hitler, you can do what you want, just leave the Catholics alone. So there's a lot of really negative history in that idea that they were prioritizing Catholics over everybody else in the world. And yeah, it's going to be very interesting. Going to be very interesting. I agree with you, Kazian. You know, the outer physical world is an expression of love and compassion. It's the things that we are. But it can also be an expression of fear and hate and anger. But you're not responsible for somebody else's fear, hate, and anger. You're only responsible for what you're putting into the world. And so if you lean into that, then the more of us that do that, the better the world becomes and the faster it becomes. Yeah, I love that. One in many and many in one, Chitra. I see that. Well, thank you for enjoying me. Thank you very much. John Doslow. Not sure what that would mean. I'm not sure what this means. John, does the wall pixel all the time on you, or just once in a while? I'm not sure what you're talking about. If you're talking about when I do this and it goes away, that's because my camera has product placement. So if I wanted to show you my cool camera tool, I can pull it up here and show you my cool camera tool, and it blurs me out so you can focus on the cool camera tool. So if that's what you're talking about, that's why it does it. It's a camera setting. This is a great question, Jermel, but let's talk about what faith is. What do you believe faith is? You see, most Christians believe it's faith in Jesus. And in reality, faith just means belief. What do you believe? What do you believe? So give me, what advice can I give me if having faith and trust is what I'm creating in my life, in my relationship? If you're not believing and trusting, trust is also a word that means belief. I trust that it's happening, right? If you're not believing it, then you're creating the opposite. If you want a positive relationship, then give that relationship pure, unconditional love. And if that relationship falls apart because the other person can't handle pure, unconditional love, then the next person is going to come in your life who will love you unconditionally, as long as you are loving unconditionally. But the advice I would give was exhale. That's the number one advice I would give. And I think we ought to play a new drinking game. Every time I say exhale, we should take a shot. You have to shut off the primal fight or flight response, because the idea of not having faith and not trusting is just fear, and it's fear run amok. And you can shut off the fear response by going straight at it through the physical fear reaction of the fight or flight response, which is storing air. So my simple advice would be exhale and be unconditionally loving. Bam. Hope that answers that question for you, Jamel. Somerset, Kentucky. Hello, Deborah. How are you? Is it Burdine? I think it's Burdine. I think I remember Burdine. What are your thoughts on feeling melancholy or missing simpler times? I think that you're living in the past, and you can't change the past. You can't go back to the past. You can't become the past. You only live in this moment. So it's a matter of deciding that you're not going to constantly look back and try to relive those things, because then now you're believing I'm missing that time, which means in this present moment you're creating regret and grief that you're missing that time. Create new, more beautiful times. Take this moment. I am joyfully living a life surrounded by people I love who love me in return, as I am creating new memories of simple times ahead. One of the things I'm doing right now with this move back to the East Coast is I'm simplifying. I'm moving into a joyful and simpler time. That's the goal of this. And so my thoughts on feeling melancholy, I think any negative feeling comes from a fear. Regret is a fear. And you enjoy those times because you love those times, and it's the fear of not having that loving feeling again. So I think rather than focusing on something you can't change, being here in the now and creating something, transitioning into something more beautiful and simple and easy is a much better use of your time. I hope that makes sense. I think I answered this already, the Anthony DeMello thing. I've never heard of Anthony DeMello. Shane, have a good shower. And might I say we're all grateful? Sorry, you can't lead a comedian to water and not expect him to drink. That's a beautiful response. If it was so important, why wouldn't we remember it our entire lives? And I think some people on their subconscious on a subconscious level, do remember it. I mean, but I don't think it was important for me. I got in trouble when I was a kid because I crucified my GI Joe. But I don't necessarily think it matters who I was. Yeah, Tammy, I think that's. Does anyone else have my wall go into pixels during the sessions? And if so, um, let me know. But I'm more likely to say, Tammy Jean, it's probably your internet connection more than my what's coming out of here. Oh. Oh! Now I understand. Thank you, Chitra, for. I was being dense on that one. It's not just the wall. um, my eyesight is very weird. When I look at the room, it is trillions upon trillions upon trillions of dots. The depth is not really depth. It's a strange experience that happened from the early 2000s when I started having the big spiritual experience. I just started seeing there's a black curtain on the wall over here. I look at the black curtain and it's just dots and dots and dots. And when I focus on the dots, I see green, I see red, I see yellow, I see white. But when I look at my microphone, I see the same thing. When I look at my camera, I see the same thing. I look at my computer, I see the same thing. It's just kind of weird. That's the kind of way my eyes work. But I also understand that what I believe I'm seeing is the energy of the universe, the image of God. But I think I've met other people who see the same way I do. So it's very different, but it's not just the wall; it's everything. When my eyes are open, even with my reading glasses on, everything looks pixelated. It just does. But it's not like the classic Minecraft sort of pixelization. It's like tiny little dots, and all of the dots are always in motion. I hope that answers the question. This is an interesting question. My experience of going over was that there was no need for names because everyone knew everything. So people want to try to take the other side and make it as structured as the physical world, but there's less structure there because everything is one, and so everybody knows everything about every consciousness. We're all part of the oneness of God. So that's been my experience, But people also ask for definitive answers about what happens on the other side, and I'm only talking from my point of view and my experiences. But there are people all over the internet talking about their own personal experiences with that same experience that are different from mine. So I can only talk about my own personal truth, and so that's what I do. Joe, it was a pleasure having you. Loved you too. That's a great question, Georgia. I believe that people are becoming more loving and more caring all over the world, and I think it's a natural evolution of love to break past. I don't think we're asleep, and that's one of the things about the word awakening that has always bothered me is I don't think we're asleep. I think that we're in a fog that is a fog of awareness of something that we're always connected to. And I think the fog is getting thinner because more and more people are choosing to be more loving and caring. And you just, like I said, you look at the children coming up. They're not racist. They're not homophobic. They have changed the calculus of the planet. Is it a spiritual awakening? I think it's just the evolution of people leaning more towards a loving world. And I kind of is my response to that. I hope that answers your question there, Georgia. People. I'm so glad you brought this up, Larry. People ask me how Tim is doing. Tim has had a very interesting year. Tim started the Tim's Pile channel, and then right after that, some big changes in his pizza shop suddenly demanded more of his time. So he started doing more pizza shop time. he has been just inundated with work. Then his parents, there's a wedding in his family in Greece, and his parents wanted to go. His parents are in their 80s. So Tim has gone to Greece with his parents, drove him to the airport, flew over with them. He's kind of with them through their trip through Greece, and he's doing great. I have a very big suspicion that the Timbus Pile channel is just going to go away because he is so busy with the pizza shop and all the things he's doing. What happened was another company came in and they're talking about expanding his business, which would take a whole bunch more of his time. And so, yeah, he's still doing great. He and I are still doing stuff with the Old Farts Workshop channel. Right now, we're just starting you're gonna love this. We're starting a new project, making a lightsaber. So those videos will be coming up soon. And he's doing great, though. He's doing great. And a lot of people have been asking about him lately because his channel hasn't been doing anything, but he's doing fine. He's just busy doing things that are taking more of his time. It's a great question. This is the story of the woman who I often refer to as the one I lost. It hasn't. That was the only time that ever happened. But she had a real faith that she was going to have it happen in that moment. And it doesn't matter who was there with me, or whether I was even there. If you want to see past the veil, it comes down to you exhaling, releasing all your fear, getting 100% present, and knowing that the veil itself is our fear, and the more fearless you are, the more you see past the veil. Hope that answers that question for you. It was yesterday was a little hot. Today was much more comfortable. They said we were going to have rain. We did not have any, but it's been beautiful. Oh, Susan, that's lovely. Spending the time on the beach with your grandkids. That's awesome. And it was a simple day, but you know what? That while you were on the beach and you're having that wonderful time, you weren't thinking about the struggles of the world. You were just being 100% present, 100% fearless, and enjoying the moment. If you did that every day, you would be creating that pocket of beauty around your part of the world, and that would change everything. I hope that, but I hope you do it again. Yeah, there's a global group that meets at 7 p.m. UK time. No tech, just join others energetically for 15 minutes. Oh, that sounds lovely. Yeah, make sure you check out my friend Holly's channel and Marcy's channel and Bright Love's channel. Bradley Thomas, hello and welcome back, I guess. Tim's dad has a pizza shop called Louis Pizza in Rehoboth Beach, Delaware, Georgia. I think there's nothing set in the future, and focusing on good or bad, I would say focus on it being good. So for me personally, just like the other day, and Monday you guys who haven't been in the membership group, when you're in the membership group, you get the videos early, but Monday a video is going out about a recent research I did on all the mystics and psychics and ideologies that predicted John the Beloved would reincarnate. And I used Chat GPT to find that information, and it was kind of shocking for me. So Monday's video will explain all that. If you're a member, or if you just joined, you can go over and watch any of the videos. I have videos out for all next week already set up. You can go watch. You can catch yourself up now. Yeah. Anyway, that's coming out Monday. Yeah. You know what, Tim, Tim and I make each other laugh, and we and laugh until we cry, and we have done that since we were 5 years old. He is my best friend, and in all of the year I'm 61. Yeah, we're both 61 right now, and in all of those years that we've known each other, 56 years. Wow. We've never had a fight, and yeah, he's just an awesome guy, and I thoroughly love the man. Kazian, I have no idea what light color no what color lightsaber mine would be. Um, I am not the guy who's the lightsaber guy. I love Star Wars. I quote Star Wars. My friend Tim is the Star Wars aficionado, and he has a collection of lightsabers, and he builds lightsabers, and so that would be a question for him to ask on the Old Farts channel when that other video comes out. Um, this is a very interesting question, so I'm going to go over here and put this one up. What do I think about the ideas that we're not alone in the universe? Well, the universe is infinite. Are we so vain that we believe that we're the only ones in all of this vast space? I personally think that there's infinite life everywhere in this universe, and I think that we are one aspect of it. But I think that all of that creation is within God itself. So it really, your question is, should we reevaluate our concept of God? The fallacy in that question is the word "our," because I don't need to reevaluate what I think of God. I think that God is infinite, and there's all kinds of life everywhere in the universe. So I don't have a concept of God that I need to reevaluate. Question is, do you need to reevaluate your concept of God? Because Christians think God is a male patriarchal external God, and that we are the center of the universe. I think it's kind of vain to think that way, and I think it's kind of antithetical to the teachings of love to think we're subjugated to a male patriarchal external God. So it really comes down to you understanding, do you need to reevaluate your concept of God? I'm pretty fine with mine. I hope that answers that question. We have 8 minutes left. Oh, Chitra, thank you. My face is getting definitely thinner, and my beard is getting bigger. Thank you very much. Google Whiz, thank you, and welcome back. Yeah, people get treated in positive and negative ways all the time, but it's always based upon their fear in the moment. If I go up to somebody who looks like a thug, and I say something cool to him and nice to him, and he smiles back, we have a great experience. What just happened there is I created a loving moment with someone who's just another person within the oneness of God, and I didn't make him have a fear-based response. So it really comes down to understanding that we are the creators of our experience, and the more we lean into that positive, loving expression, the more we see that positive, loving expression around us. I think you're looking for very new age validation of these concepts. I think Jeshua's way was simpler than all of those things. This is very much searching for validation in a new age ideology. And I'm not new age, I'm not old age, I'm present age, which is what Jeshua was. So do I think that? I don't. And that's just my personal opinion. If you believe it, that's totally fine. I totally respect that. Dot, I think it's all far simpler. I think that if there is an increase in light waves from the sun, it's because we believe things are getting brighter. That's how I would look at that. I don't think it's. I don't think the external affects us. I think we affect the external. Chitra has given us the 5 minute warning, my friends, and don't piss off Chitra because man, she's tough. Um, I I will have to look into Sade's song, but yeah, because I don't know that song. But I also there's a old John Denver song called Annie's Song. Do the same thing with that song, and that'll show you a whole different uh, perception in that one. Thanks, Will, for the push on the likes. Oh, thank you, Bradley. It's so nice. That's so nice to hear. I like to hear the validation of the work that's being done. That was one of the greatest things that happened when Deanna Fitzpatrick had my mom come through in one of her mediumship shows. Mom literally said, "John, you don't know all the good you're doing," and it was something I personally needed to hear in that moment. Audrey, the join button is a dark button. And it's right next to the picture of my face that's below every video. It's right next to it. Um, Other people are finding it because we've had several people just tonight join the membership group. So I don't know how else to do that. Um, I mean I can't even send a link to the page to do it. Um, Hang on, let me see if I can find something out here. Hold on. Da, 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 da. Um. Okay. Okay, I found a direct link to join. Okay, I'm going to add that into the chat. Okay, so Audrey, this is the link to join. Got 3 minutes. Jumping down, jumping down. Do I think there's a soul review? I think first of all, our soul is our higher self. It's our higher consciousness. It is us. I think that that's the first part of this. I think that when we cross over, we become fully aware of everything, and so we will review our life because we become aware of all aspects of it. Um, Jumping down. You can send you can send positive intentions, but until they come to the belief in the present moment about their own experience, um, then you will, then they'll want to change. Every one of us is on our own journey, and you can focus loving intention. The best way to help them is to find out what their fear is and alleviate their fear in the present moment. And then they can have an experience that's very much different. Uh, Jumping down. Fine. It's the final countdown. Eight, ladies and gentlemen, it is 8 o'clock, and the bell has been rung. Chitra, the bell has been rung. So, guys, this has been a lovely time. I hope we've had some enlightening moments. I hope we've had some moments of reflection where we can choose our own truth and experience that. Everyone have a fabulous weekend and a happy Father's Day to the fathers of the world. And may we all just choose to be love and not focus on the fear and create something. And for those of you who joined the membership group tonight, welcome. And you're going to start to see all kinds of cool things. And our monthly Zoom meetings are face to face, so we get to talk back and forth. So I'll see you the first Friday of every month is the Zoom meeting. The second Friday of every month is now the live stream. So I'm taking the other weeks of the month for me. So I love you all. I love you too, Chitra. You guys have a fabulous night, and I will see you later. Have a good one. Bye-bye.